So a couple reminders before we get started. So please register at web.lab.is/portal if you haven't already. This is going to be subscribing you to all class announcements and giving you access to creating a team, creating a repo, and submitting your milestones. So please register. Also, if you want class credit, you'll need to register on WebSys officially with the course number 69620. Another really important thing to do is join the Piazza. So weblab.is/Piazza. We're going to be posting all of our important announcements and links on Piazza, so please do that. And on Piazza, I also posted a few days ago an installation guide, so please follow that immediately because we'll need it for the workshop today. Another announcement is that lectures will be live streamed and recorded to YouTube. So you can join the live stream at any time at weblab.is/livestream. We're using Panopto for the first time this year, and I think the quality should be better. So please tune in if you can't make lecture. Lectures are not mandatory, but we don't take attendance, but we strongly suggest coming to lectures. You get out what you put into WebLab, and you also get out free lunch. So please come to lecture. So a couple logistics of the class. Again, the competition is not mandatory, but we strongly suggest coming to lecture. During the workshops of class, we'll have live help where you can add yourself to the queue on weblab.is/queue. So any coding help, debugging during the workshops in class. You can also find a questions doc at weblab.is/questions. You can ask questions anonymously during class if you don't want to raise your hand for any reason, and staff will be answering your questions there. Finally, you can look at the old questions docs at weblab.is/oldquestions. And finally, we have Buka Buka at weblab.is/Buka Buka. Buka Buka is our turtle mascot for WebLab, and basically, if there are no questions asked, Buka Buka is sad. I think someone already asked a question, so Buka Buka woke up. As you ask more questions on the questions doc, Buka Buka will get more happy. So please ask questions. The academic chairs made a really good student hub for short links and deadlines. If you go to weblab.is/home, you can look at all the links that we've mentioned today, and all the deadlines are there also. Finally, we are doing something new this year. If you don't have a team yet, please don't be discouraged. Stay after lecture today for a team finding mixer. You can also post on Piazza. There's a team finding post there if you're not in person today. So here's a quick course overview. So the general schedule of WebLab is week 1, we're going to build an app from scratch together, from the front end to the back end. It's going to be a pretty watered down version of Facebook, but it's going to teach you all the fundamentals of building a website. In week 2, we're going to add some cool features like auth and sockets. We're also going to teach advanced topics and have some sponsor lectures. So the advanced topics on web dev in week 2. In week 3, you're going to be focusing on coding up your website. So we're going to be coding all week, and we're going to have office hours, I think, 4 times. So if you ever need any live help, just come to office hours and post on Piazza. And finally, week 4 is also going to be coding. The final submission is due that week, and we're going to have judging and awards. So it's going to be a grind, but it's going to be very fun also. If you have any questions or you want to look at more details about the schedule, go to weblab.mit.edu/schedule, and you'll find all the lecture locations, locations for events, and slide links, so on. So in WebLab, we will take you end to end. You'll be able to make the most powerful backends and the most polished front ends if you put the time into the class and learn all the material. The server is the thing that does all the computing in the back end, and the front end, which we're going to use React in this class, will be what we use to make the website look pretty. So the world of websites is huge. You can make something simple as Doge 2048 to something a bit more complex which is like an RPG, or you can make Facebook, which is pretty complicated. But how does all this work? I'm going to give you like a brief overview before we start lectures today, what we're going to be learning. So let's say you're accessing a website, facebook.com. You're the client, and you have your computer right here, and you're sending a GET request to facebook.com. Facebook has essentially just a computer running that runs the server that stores and serves the website. And when you send the GET request, Facebook will send back a response with the web page files from its server. And you are running a program, which is Chrome, used to view this website. Well, what exactly are these web page files? So we have a few main web page files. So HTML is like the building blocks of your website. It's the structure and skeleton of your website. So you have text, some div structures, so on in the HTML. CSS is what makes your website look pretty. So any like font styling or colors, so on, is done in CSS. We're also going to learn JavaScript, which is what makes things move on your website. So, for example, if you want to make your website interactive, if you want to have the user click a button and something happen, you're going to need to use JavaScript for that. And finally, we can have some assets like pictures and videos on your website. So again, what app will we build in class through the workshops? So you can see the finished product of what we're going to build at web.lab.is/example, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is what we're going to be able to build after 2 weeks of class. So you can see it's like a version of Facebook with some games. So we have like a home page, which has a bunch of posts that everyone is going to make. And if we log in, we can see that, oh wait, let me just reload the page. So if we, takes a while to load for render. I don't know, are we? While I wait for that to load, I'm just going to move on. But essentially, you guys saw like the general overview. We're going to have like a home page that has all the posts from our chatbook website. We're going to also have like a chat feature where you can chat with people privately through DMs or chat with everyone on the website. We're also going to have a profile once you log in that's going to be like personal to you, and you can add whatever you want to your profile. And we're also going to have like a game feature on the website where you can play a pretty watered-down version of Agario. So we're going to build all that in the first 2 weeks of class. Cool. So some other logistics, milestones. So milestones are the most important things to do in this class. The first milestone is due this Wednesday at 11:59. Please don't fret. This milestone is basically finalizing your team and listing the top 10 ideas your team has. So we can give some feedback, some yeses and nos based on what we've seen before, and so on. And this milestone should already be up on the student portal. So if you go to portal.web.is or web.is/portal, you should be able to submit that with your team. Project pitches are this weekend, and the sign-up for them is due on Friday. Basically, for project pitches, you will choose your top idea based on the 10 ideas in our feedback, and you're going to come in over the weekend for 20 to 30 minutes in the Stata basement to pitch your idea to us and our sponsors. And we're going to give you some feedback on your website idea and give you some pointers on what you might want to implement for your website. The second milestone is minimal viable product, which is due in the third week of class on Wednesday, January 24th at 6 p.m. And this is going to be your website with most of its features done, minus maybe 2 or 3 features. And you're really going to want to have most things done by this time. This is just to check in to make sure you guys are actually coding, are on track for the final submission, and so on. And finally, the final website is due on the last week of class on Wednesday, January 31st. And this will be due at 12 p.m. So please take note of that. We won't accept any late deadlines because we'll be judging as soon as the websites are in. And finally, the most important thing is that passing the class requires completing all milestones. And it might seem like a lot right now, but we'll have a lot of help. We have office hours, live help. We have Piazza help. So if you ever need help, you will have it. So what are some of the guidelines for building your website? So first, you must build a dynamic website supported by a backend. You also must build a personalized experience based on user accounts. So signing in with one account should give a different experience to the user than another account. You also must have minimum security requirements. Most people use Google OAuth, but you can choose however you want to have security implemented on your website. You must have original design and implementation. We really want you to learn in this class, so that means coding up everything that you're going to see on your site during IAP, and not using not copying any code from the web and stuff like that. And finally, we want you to use Git on a web.lab GitHub repo. Once you lock in your team, we will make a repo for you, so you don't have to worry about making your own repo. Some things you can't do. So you cannot use anything like Drupal, WordPress, or Squarespace. These services might be useful when you're making a website later, but in this class, we really want you to learn all fundamental aspects of web dev, so you should not use these services during the class. You can't use any part of a previous project. Again, we want you to learn, and it won't be fair to other teams if you use any part of a previous project. You can't outsource your development, so you can't hire minions. Again, we want your team to learn and have it be fair for everyone, so please use your own code that you coded during IAP. And please don't do anything evil. Please don't code up malicious websites. You'll be disqualified. It's not in the spirit of web.lab. And finally, if you have any questions about the guidelines, make a private Piazza post or go to weblab.mit.edu/about, and you'll be able to read more about what we expect and what you can and can't do. Some pointers on judging. So we'll be judging your websites on 4 aspects if you're in the competition. So the first aspect is functionality. So the technical components of your core features. How well are they implemented technically, and what are your core features? We'll also be judging you on usability, so ease of use of the website. So let's say a user uses your website for the first time, how intuitive and how easy it is to use. We'll also be judging you on aesthetics, so the front end, look and feel of the website, how polished is it. And finally, we'll be judging you on concept execution, so how applicable is your website to the solution of the problem. Again, if you have more questions on the guidelines for judging, go to weblab.mit.edu/about. So there's a lot of things to do in WebLab, and the class is very challenging at times, but you guys will have a lot of help. So where exactly do you get help from? The number one resource is Piazza. So if you ever need help or have questions, please post on Piazza. Staff is monitoring it a lot of hours during the day. So we try to keep our response time within 10 minutes. So chances are if you post on Piazza, your question will be answered very quickly. Some other resources are the course website, the resources on the course website. And some live resources are office hours, which is held 3 to 4 times a week in the Stata basement. And that's on the schedule in the website. And we also have 2 hackathons that happen during weeks 2 and 3. So what exactly are hackathons? Are they like coding a different project than your website? Well, hackathons are essentially just extended office hours for coding up your website. And you try to get as much done as possible in a few hours. And we have generous help from staff. It's an all-hands event for staff, so all staff will be there, and we'll have some food, snacks, and maybe boba. So what else is there to WebLab? There are a bunch of interesting topics, and even if you're a beginner or you're an advanced web dev programmer, there's a lot to gain from the class. So we'll touch on things like UI design, learning version control. You'll get a taste of Core 6.3. You might even have a first experience in creating something or a first project. And finally, you'll get a lot more advanced topics and cutting-edge technologies that are used in industry right now. Most importantly, WebLab is not a classic MIT class. So we're graded on PDF. So as long as you meet the milestone requirements, you will pass the class. And we're not forcing you down a strict path. So you can make whatever you want and put as much time into the class as you want. And you will gain as much as you put into the class. Also, we as course staff are very involved in making this interesting and fun for you. So we'll send out a feedback form every day, so you can give some feedback on the lectures, maybe stuff that you want to review or learn. And we'll also have a live Q&A doc, which is web.lab.is/questions during the lecture, if you have any questions. And finally, again, we have a Piazza, which is the best use of live help you can get. We have an average response time of just a few minutes, so please use Piazza. And finally, we strongly recommend coming to lecture because we're going to work on this app together and building this every day. We're going to build it up over the course of 2 weeks, so if you miss a day of lecture, it might be nice to review using the recordings and the lecture slides. But bottom line, please come to lecture. There'll be food and fun. Yeah. So finally, I wanted to reveal the theme. So the past themes have been Around the World, Remember the Future, Beyond the Horizon, Back to the Roots, Press Any Key to Start, Craft Your Own Blink, Tag Yourself, Imagine, and last year was You and I. And for the 10th year of WebLab, we will have a theme reveal video.
Andrew's so hot. I wanted to ask him to be on my web.
It's okay. I'll help you out.
This isn't working. Hey, we have all the right methodologies, but we have none of the ways to do it. Like, how am I supposed to get his attention? I don't know, get him to be my web app partner, or even get his love. This is so doomed. I know. I'm gonna get all the original pics of songs that he's gonna like. Songs that Andrew would like and he would fall for me right after. Number... It's actually really hard.
You know, how about instead you just make a blend?
That's so smart. And after I make him a blend, we can get his attention. And then after we get his attention, he's going to want to be my web app partner. And then I'm going to get his love.
There you go. Send it.
Hi, Andrew. I was thinking that we could make a Spotify blend together and things like that.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, and then, you know, since we're already blending and stuff, do you wanna do WebLab with me?
Yeah, of course.
심장이 하늘에서 땅까지 아찔한 진자 운동을 계속하였던 첫사랑이었다. Beautiful life, 난 너의 곁에 있을게. It's beautiful life.
builds technologies that expand the human ability to navigate the world. Moby's core ability is the model decision-making through a planning platform to solve complex problems for the individual and at scale that the human brain can't solve alone. Moby's AI planning platform integrates robust data sets, capable of fleet efficiency optimization, business process automation, as well as guiding travelers to the tastiest meals and off-the-beaten-path experiences worldwide. Moby's ability to solve tough problems at scale is being used by the world's largest brands. Founded in the research labs of MIT in 2012, we work, build, and learn together at our headquarters in Somerville, Massachusetts. We're proud to be backed by an outstanding group of investors, Firefly Venture Partners, Arkham Ventures, and Enterprise Holdings, who share our commitment to building transformative travel technologies.
Cool. So our theme is send it or blend it. So again, please fill out this quick survey and let's get started.